Hey everybody, welcome to our channels. You're either watching this on Susan Lynn's channel or on Afefe's Touched by Tarot channel. Wherever you are, we really appreciate you joining us today. We're going to be talking politics. If you've never seen Afefe and I talk politics, you're in for a treat because we have a blast, but we also get it done. Right, Afefe?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. We try to keep the vibes light. It's a nice Saturday evening or Saturday afternoon for some of you. I'm on the East Coast, Susan's on the West Coast, and all of us are probably midpoints in between and maybe even outside of the states. But we come together and have a good time, even while we're dealing with some serious stuff. Ooh. But we make sure that we enjoy one another. So thank you for having me again, Susan. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Well, I'm on your channel too, so thank you for having me on your channel. If you guys aren't familiar with either one of us, please subscribe because we do politics, but we also do spirituality. And there's a lot that you can get from our wonderful community here on YouTube, right? Like, first of all, it was Mr. T that brought us all together. Frankly, he created this community and we have an amazing community of professional psychics and tarot readers and various types of readers here, and I'm happy to be in the community of it. So yes. All right, let's grab some questions, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it. We know there's got to be some questions out there, right? Like no shortage of stuff to talk about.
I swear, I don't know. I think my spirit guides entered my brain a little earlier because I was just telling Afefe before we went live, like I'm gone, like my brain is gone. I hate when that happens. But there was a couple of funny things that happened that I wanted to talk about, and now my brain is vacant because they're in, most of it. And I don't know if they don't think it's funny or what. Yes, Afefe.
How about now he's Mr. T or DT or whoever we're going to call him tonight. He swears up and down he does not drink, but I swear that man looked drunk stumbling up that red carpet yesterday. Did you all see that? He was like, it was like, dude, the carpet ain't but so wide. Like, what was that? That was hilarious, and then followed by for me, not sure how you all, love to hear how you feel. And you, Susan, he put that man in the beast to go for the spin. He put Putin in the beast to take it for a spin.
Not ever happened. Not that. That's our national security. That's our national security. Susan Rice was like, what is happening right now? Like the national security people, their heads blew off of their shoulders when they saw that. But I think really, hopefully, we see Gavin Newsom has woken up, like he's duking it out. We need people like Susan Rice and these other people to just acknowledge, let's stop being surprised. I don't know why we're surprised, right, at this point. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, might have been. This is for entertainment purposes only, and only our thoughts and impressions. I'm just going to say, and allegedly apply that to everything we say from here on out. Yes, because things are getting a little rough around the edges here. So I just was going to say, one of the people in the chat said he was probably on some benzos, and I was like, I better preface that with some kind of thing to keep us out of jail.
Supposedly, perhaps, right?
Yeah, exactly. Supposedly, perhaps. Yep. Yeah, Old Silver says DC is out marching. How do you feel, Afefe, about the response of the people, whether they're in LA or DC or wherever? Do you feel like this is going to grow, or do you think this is what is your feeling about that?
I think it's absolutely going to grow. And of course, we've got some of the organizations now that are becoming more and more 50501. And I understand they've got a big ta-da coming up for Labor Day. That's going to be like nationwide. We're going to see so much. And not only have we seen what's happening in DC, but I also saw today earlier people in New York were out, not just about because West Virginia, I don't know if you all heard this, West Virginia is sending National Guard now to DC. Yeah, West Virginia, Governor of West Virginia just jumped up and said, well, maybe you don't have enough, I'll send you some more. So that's ticking up. the resistance as well. But in addition to that, and I'm sure we're going to get into it a little bit tonight, I'd love to hear what your guys have with you, Susan. So a lot of us have been saying, we know Gavin Newsom has gone ahead and put things in motion, stopped waiting around to see what Texas was going to do, and put it in motion to get the redistricting. There are people, from what I understand, out in the streets of New York today saying, do it. Do it. Nice. Do it now. Stop waiting.
Yes. Yes. I think I love that, because I was a little worried about the other Democratic governors. I didn't get a sense of an overwhelming sense anyway, that they were just as ready to go, as fired up and ready to go as Newsom was. Even honestly, maybe it doesn't matter, but Tim Walz's state, maybe his state is already blue. I don't know. But I think that everybody's seeing, the energy suggests that everybody is still minding their P's and Q's. Like, well, what, maybe I should go along to get along, or, and also he takes away your money. Not everybody's got California's money. So that's another problem, right? But I do see the people growing. And what the guides told me, and I think this is really important. I actually wrote this in threads, but hopefully I can get the guides to regurgitate it. Which is, if you take out one of us, two of us, three of us, 3, 5, 10 will pop up.
Yes.
And they called it the zombies. We're like zombies. Like, I never watched zombie movies, but I think maybe that's what happens. Like, they keep growing. I don't know. But they use that, zombies being reborn. We're being reborn of our deluded, of our innocence, of our democracy. We're actually being reborn again. And more of us will just come out. I don't think they can stop this, is what I'm trying to say. I know it looks bad. I know that it certainly looks bad, and I worry about it. But I think that there's just, to me, it's like more and more and more and more and more and more and more, like just legions of people start coming out. Exactly. So I think it could get to be pretty raucous, pretty big. This could get to be a pretty big situation, unless they do something to neuter it, to diffuse it. Do you feel like, I was watching, I think, Heather Cox Richardson, who you guys are not following Heather Cox Richardson, please do so. She's a professor. She's absolutely been a lifeline ever since his first reign of terror. And she does a video almost every day, and she's just so amazing. But she was saying a couple of things. First of all, they can't get people to work for ICE. That's why they're giving them these $30,000 bonuses, which I think is an important perspective to understand. And the other thing she said was about JD. He's out gallivanting around the world, not necessarily the United States, right? How many times have we seen him? Well, wherever he goes, he gets turned down. Like, the other funny thing that happened was Kamala was just at this cafe a couple of weeks ago, and then Vance went just last few days, and the staff said, we'll walk out.
They did.
We're not going to serve this guy. Mm-hmm. So, but why is he out? Why is he out and about? Is he trying to create some support for himself in his new, or his alleged, or his wanting of his new role as president?
Yeah, I think I did a video, I think yesterday, and I called it a soft coup.
Oh, nice.
Like, he recognizes, because especially in Europe, where he is now, they understand that want to call it dementia, want to call it whatever else is going on with DT. There's just no denying it. And so he sees an opening for, as someone who at least figuratively can hold a conversation. And, and because he is technically second in command, should something happen and, DT have to exit stage left, they know he's the guy they're going to have to deal with. So he's just taking full advantage of that. I think he's just trying to up his cachet a little bit, but not going to work. They don't like him. They don't like any of it. They're really pissed off at the US, but I think he's trying to take advantage of it. And I also just wanted to say, Susan, real quick, When you were speaking a moment ago about your impression of the growing movement, I was led to pull a couple of cards, and I pulled the Chariot with the Two of Swords. This is pivotal to me, because people's voices trying to be silenced, they will break through it. That's how I feel. That's how I'm reading this combination. And the Chariot, as we know, if you're into tarot, it is about getting past the obstacle. So if the obstacle is being shut down, intimidation, everything being done to silence the voices, look at those roller skates. Like, I bet you we're gonna come right through. I bet
And
you.
I love the LGBTQ, and I love the feathers on the back, the angel wings.
Exactly.
It's almost Mercury. It's almost like the messenger of
Which is
wow.
a beautiful. I'm glad you said this, because that's a beautiful aspect of the Chariot. The Chariot, it's not just us pushing through. It is us with our spirit guides. It's us with our ancestors. It's us with the universe at our backs. Like, we got you. Let's go. Let's do this. So yeah.
I love it.
I love
I
it.
love it. So I really think it's just up to the powers that be, how far they want to push this. Like if they want to push us all the way to strife and kind of upheaval, I'm trying to avoid certain words. I think the American people will do it. I think the guides are just calling it a tinderbox. We're a tinderbox.
Yeah.
And I don't think they can push too much further without something becoming more of something. And I'm wondering, have you looked at the energy of, say, like next month, or have you looked at the fall in general?
I have not, only because I get a sense that there's going to be some unpredictability with regard to Congress coming back in session. We already hear now that they're trying to delay it. I'm not sure if it was Raskin I heard yesterday, but somebody was on MSNBC and saying they're already trying to push out, because they know what's waiting. They know that Massey and Ro Khanna they've already got the people lined up to the victims, the Epstein victims. They've got them lined up, ready to come testify. So now they're saying they want to push back the start date for they're trying to push it back. As of yesterday, they were trying to I think it was Raskin I saw. It was somebody who knew what they were talking about. It was Raskin or Murphy or somebody. But yeah, they're trying to delay. So I'm trying to get a better sense of that. But I do think, to your point, fall is going to be whoa, because they've done everything possible to try and delay everything with the Epstein files, and it's just going to kick into high gear. That, and I'll tell you all something else to watch out for. Susan, I'd love to hear what your guides give you on this. We know Louisiana pulled out a unbelievable one. The Fifth Circuit, one of the most conservative circuits in the nation, protected voters' rights out of the state of Louisiana, right? But where is it going now? Supreme Court. SCOTUS comes back in October. Voting rights. That's going to be. You getting the sense that they're going to tank it?
I will tell you, yes. I'm with you. The energy is there. They want to do it. They want to take the voting rights away from women. Maybe even, I honestly, when I get salty, I'm like, please take voting rights away from non-white people so that we can just end this, because we would end it. It would be like, tomorrow at noon, it's going to be over. Like that, all of us. And I mean, like, maybe not 100%, but the majority of us would be in the streets, and we would shut this whole country down. So I do think that's what they want to do. They want to take away voting rights from women. They want to take away voting rights from whoever, chip away at the edges is what the guides are saying, like just pick on little subsets, or like, yeah, you're a woman, or yes, you're this, but this person can vote, but this subset of that person can't vote. They're picking away at our rights, right? Because they know if they just did it wholesale, the country would come undone. But the problem is, I think they know they're running out of time. They know that they don't have time to do this. They've got to smash and grab as much as they can. And so they're not going to pick away at it because they don't feel like they have the time to do that. So I really think they might do something like that. And I just know that that would cause almost a civil war of some kind. Or the guides last year kept talking about the troubles in Northern Ireland, which is basically like citizens becoming terrorists, if you will. So they kept telling me that, and I think if they keep pushing us, we're going to push back, and we're going to push back in whatever way we can. And
Yeah.
I think it's going to get very unfortunate is what's going to happen. But that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. And I think that's hanging in the balance. I think that's why they're like, maybe we don't want to do this. Maybe we don't want to go all the way to the red line.
Right, right. I think the administration is perfectly willing to go to the red line, and we've seen that even, when I say administration, of course, we know even, everybody around him, Bondi et al. They're willing to go to the red line. Hexeth came, as you all know, Hexeth just came right on out and reposted the video of his Reformation pastor saying women should be subservient and don't need the right to vote anymore. So we know that, but I saw, as an example, I can't remember where it was, but there was a ICE raid happening on a cowboy's property. So I don't think this was Texas. I don't know where it was, but this guy, big barrel chested cowboy hat on, had his big belt buckle, and he was up in the ICE guy's face, and he said, "Let me tell you something. We are real cowboys here. So if you want to come on this," he did like this. He said, "Let's do it." And the ICE agent went, "No, we're not here for that." And he said, "Then get the F off my property." Yes, and they did, and they backed off. I think we will see more of that, where bit by bit, the very people who they expected to get support from will
Nice.
be the very people who will say, "No, now you're intruding on my land, on my
Right.
property. You're in my backyard, not doing this with you." And you could see that guy was not joking around. He was like, you want to talk about a cowboy? And he had his guys in back of him, and they were all standing there looking like they were ready. They were ready to go. And the guy was like, that. And also to your point, Susan, when you said, as we know, ICE is out here trying to hire 18-year-olds who they're not trained in any, they're not going to go out there and tangle with the cowboys. I promise you that.
No, no.
So,
No. Unfortunately, they're going to go out and pick on immigrants that are 5 foot tall, that are women, that they can pick up and carry. I saw a guy pick up and carry a woman off.
yeah.
But that is what I'm saying. Even that is going to become more perilous.
Yeah.
Because we all know what it's about now.
Right. If that woman can make it to a cowboy's farm.
Okay. I think the cowboy in the city slicker is going to come out.
That's
and
right.
The city slicker is going to walk over there and let's talk about the guy who actually worked at the Justice Department who threw his sandwich at ICE.
I know.
So the judge said, "This is crazy. What your guys are charging him with? It was a sandwich. Yes. He didn't throw a rock. He didn't throw a bat. He didn't throw a brick. He didn't throw a projectile. He threw a food. It's a food fight, right?" So even the judge was like, "Come on, y'all." So I think things are starting to rejigger. Things are starting to, we're finding our new balance because God knows we've been thrown off.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Susan, I keep seeing, and I knew this was coming today. Do you think that was Putin or a Putin double yesterday?
Well, I think it was a Putin double because for one thing, you guys, I was a photographer for 25 years. I looked at people for 25 years. I mean, I had my business for probably 22, but I was a photographer. I've been a photographer since I was in the 11th grade. You notice things. You notice things about the way people walk. You notice people's teeth. You notice people smile. You notice if they smile or don't smile, if their eyes crinkle. You just notice things, right? And number one. Number two, Putin, it's very well known. It is absolutely not contested that he uses doubles. This is not a contested thing, number one. Number two, my guides reminded me, y'all remember the whole Princess Kate scenario not too long ago when she was actually absolutely proved that they used double. Absolutely proved. So you guys, there's there's a lot of this that goes around. So I don't think it was him. And another reason why is when you see pictures of Putin in his office, even his closest people sit very far away from him. Like,
Mhm.
he doesn't like people next to him. Number one. Number two, he doesn't like to be videoed for long. Like, he would never allow someone to video him walking because he is KGB. He knows that the CIA is going to be watching him for every little thing. And the other thing that happened, and it's on video, you guys, it's for real. This guy, whoever he was, he's walking down that tarmac and he reaches in his pocket like this, and he goes like this, and he goes like this to the camera. Well, not to the camera. The camera was filming it. I mean, he literally went like this, like, I got it. I'm like,
Wow.
WTF, you guys. So part of the problem is we go back all the way back to say 3 or 4 years ago when Biden, because he was the president, I said this all the time, our government wanted to fix this stuff without the people knowing, because if we knew, we would freak out. There's a word called ontological shock, which means I'm offline because I can't deal with what I just saw. We've
Mhm.
all experienced it when you find out your friend is cheating with your husband, or your family member stole from you, or something that happens that you're like, I can't, I, I can't, right? So this is what's happening with American people right now. In the past, the government said we're going to control this. We're going to fix this on the down low. We're going to use our ambassadors. We're going to use our CIA, our FBI. We're going to NSA. We're going to do this. This is what Biden did. He was a Scorpio. It's like a triple Scorpio. So he was like all beneath the surface. Well, now it's in front of us. The emperor has no clothes, and
Yeah.
we are not even talking about the fact. The only person who brought this up was Lev Parnas. Lev Parnas said, that ain't Putin. But
Right.
everybody else is acting like it is. And I think we really need to have we just need to ask more questions
Yeah.
all the way around. We need to not be afraid to ask questions instead of someone saying, you're a conspiracy theorist. Who cares? Call me
Right.
whatever you want. I want to ask questions. I want to have the conversation.
That's interesting. That is interesting. I did pull the high priestess. When you started speaking, I was like, well, was it spirit? And I got the high priestess. That's
Well, you didn't get the moon card though. So what is the high priestess? What do you think it means in this case?
ruled by the moon, though. The high priestess is very tied to and ruled by the moon, and the high priestess has to do with secrets and sometimes things not being as they seem and needing to look beyond the surface, right? So, yeah, very very likely. I also found it super interesting that they hustled the heck off that stage. Like they were on there for 3.5 seconds and it was get out of there. Like the whole point was it was supposed to be a press conference, right? Mm-mm. They got off of that dog on stage. So I think it's possible. Now, I am seeing some questions in the chat. Susan, do you think he's alive? Putin? Do you think
Well,
he's
I love Libby with Meister Tarot, and I respect her tremendously. She has been getting that he's not alive. Um, and I would say that I've had a change of heart about a couple of different things. Like, I thought I never really looked at Epstein, frankly, but I looked at him recently, and as a medium, I can't find him on the other side. Does that mean he's not hiding from me? Maybe, yes. But that's interesting. But then as far as Putin goes, I feel like he is, I hate to even say this stuff because I don't want to look like an idiot either, right? But I swear I think he might be dead. But here's the thing: you can't have your leader be dead and continue to wield power,
right?
right? So we have a Weekend at Bernie, whatever that is, movie, right? Like where he's in the corner, maybe he's on life support, maybe he's in a cryo tank. I don't know. Maybe he's really gone. I feel like he's close enough to dead. But I think that there's they need to hold the coalition together until they can get enough power to put somebody in his place. Otherwise, it's a power vacuum, and the guides have been talking about that. What do you think?
I get it. And I absolutely, I pulled a couple of cards while you were talking. Look what came, the Hermit. And look at this particular depiction, do not disturb. Yeah, I think,
Oh,
I think I think he's a,
he's in the cryo tank, y'all. He's in the fish tank.
He's off somewhere, just they parked him and he's still calling some shots or whatever while they try and figure out what their next steps are going to be, because he came with the lovers. So there is this movement around him. And I also get he recognizes he is just teetering on absolute betrayal. Like there's something in there that says that he too realizes, just like DT, there's no one he can trust. And they would love nothing more than him to go ahead and cross the heck over.
Right.
But
they need it. It's like a controlled demolition is what the guides are saying.
Yeah.
You can't have somebody who was such a powerful figure disappear, because then it's a free for all, right? It's chaos. It's a power vacuum. It's meat. It's the same thing with 45.
Yeah.
So, it's a controlled demise. They need to move him out of the way and put the right people in place, and then that's going to affect Ukraine. Honestly,
it's going to totally affect Ukraine, and we understand Volodymyr Zelensky is supposed to be here on Monday to meet with old boy in the Oval. So that's going to be real interesting. Is JD going to be back in time for that? I don't think so.
I don't think so, unless I'm getting no, unless he changes his schedule. And that's another thing, Afefe. Have you not noticed, like, wherever DJT is, he's gone. Like, Vance is in another state or another country. Like, he couldn't be far enough away.
Yeah.
Think about Biden and Harris, or Biden and Obama.
Yes.
Like, they were all together.
Yeah. Especially for, huge global.
Especially for big things, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, just in general, you know what I mean? Like if Biden was off on a VP thing, or Kamala Harris was off on a BP, it wasn't all the time. It's like Vance is gone all the time. I think Vance wants to physically and emotionally and energetically get some distance from what's going on. He doesn't want to own any of the things that Trump's doing. He wants to really rebrand himself.
He does, because he still thinks he's the heir apparent for 28. And so I absolutely agree. I think he's been told, essentially, if you want to stand a chance, you better create some room, because when this all starts to go down, you don't want this pinned on you. The same way that they did horribly to Kamala, with everything that everything was just twisted, and he sees that, and he's trying to, make sure he gets some room between that. But what was interesting as well, and now we know his DT's whole posse, Vance wasn't there, but Susie Wiles, Hegseth, who's the guy, Lutnick.
And Rubio was there, I think.
Rubio was there, like the whole cabinet was there. But they said right after that supposed to be press conference that never happened, that there was the inside track, word on the street was that they were all in a shambles. Like,
I saw that. Yeah.
Like, what do we do now?
So something transpired.
Well,
here's the other thing.
The papers on the fax machine at the hotel.
I was just going to say it. NPR broke the news that one of those dummies left the papers on the fax machine, or the copier machine, of the itinerary. And so that's how we know also that the luncheon was canceled. And on the papers, they called Putin his excellency.
His excellency.
That's the part that just irritates me.
Yeah. I mean, who leaves that on a hotel copy machine?
No.
Unbelievable.
No. Excuse me while I plug my laptop in. Keep going.
All right, we're good. Let me see. I'm going to look for, thank you all so much. I know some people are just joining us. So thank you all for spending some time with us here. Goodness knows, we are stronger together. So we need each other one by one. I appreciate you being here. Let's see. Linda, I agree with you. It is amazing still that, when we look at how Vance was so diametrically opposed to DT for so long, and now, being forced to be sort of in lockstep. I also saw there were a lot of memes that came out today on social media from the debate between Kamala and DT, where Kamala said Putin would have him for lunch. You remember? Did you see that? That was everywhere today. People were posting that left, right, and center. Like, see, she said it. She told you this was going to happen. So yeah, it's been
her and Hillary said a lot of things that came true.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah. I took a lot of heat, by the way, not in a bad way. I knew it and I'm good with it. But did you heard about Hillary on this podcast where she said if the peace deal could be struck, that she would be willing to nominate DT for a Nobel Peace Prize? And so I looked at that. I personally, I was like, I don't care what. But a lot of people, it was interesting. A lot of people commented and said, look, at the end of the day, they think that she was just trolling him. She didn't really mean it. It was just her being sarcastic. I don't know. I still don't know quite how I feel about that. And there were other people who said she did that because she knows that, bills all over the files. So she was trying to maybe make nice for a moment. You have any impression?
I don't think she was trying to make nice. I think she was trying to taunt him. I think she was trying to say, I think she was trying to frame it too. Like, let's frame this. If you're a real leader, if you're a real world leader, you do this, then you do deserve it, right? Like, I think Hillary can be very strategic, right? Like, but that begs the question. It begs the question, even if she is strategic, even if he did do it, and I'd still be upset about that. I mean, I get it, but maybe she's a bigger person than me. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but that would still upset me because he would actually do it by accident. Like, it would actually happen by some kind of accident thing that happened,
Right. Yeah.
But I think she also knows that he's never going to do it. That's a safe bet.
Oh yeah, she knew that would never ever happen. Someone also said Hillary's a Scorpio. I didn't realize that. Did you know Hillary?
I did not know that, but it makes sense.
Oh, that makes sense. That says a whole lot.
That makes sense.
That says a whole lot. Interesting.
That's funny. Her and Biden. Interesting.
Yeah. I do want to give a shout out just because I've seen it come up a couple of times. Happy birthday, Peaceful Warrior. If we get a chance.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, so glad to have you take time on your birthday to join us. And
yes, I hope you have a good birthday.
Yes. Wishing you many, 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 many returns, happy returns, healthy, safe returns.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
And you asked for a card. I did pull one for you, and you got the Lovers, and I shuffled. So
wow. Yeah. All right. Nice. Peaceful Warrior. All right.
Yeah. Oh, look, you all are so beautiful. And the timeline is lighting up with the birthday wishes. That is so lovely.
And whoever has a birthday today, yesterday, tomorrow, happy birthday to you too.
Happy birthday. To anyone, for sure. Yeah, that is so sweet. You all are just amazing.
I'm telling you, this community is what's kept us alive, I think, actually, in some ways. Kept us functioning anyway. Thank you, Rose Blue. That's so nice of you. So let's talk about weather for a second. Do you mind? Because I feel like I am getting that there's going to be some kind of weather event on the East Coast. I'm not sure. It feels like water to me. It feels like water and wind. It could be a hurricane. There is a hurricane, Aaron. I think Aaron is coming.
Aaron.
I don't know if this is the one, but I'm just telling you, I feel like a flood in New York City, DC, but perhaps kind of up that coastal where South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, all the way up to that, maybe even as far as Vermont or Nova Scotia. Are you feeling anything about any kind of weather event in that area?
Well, I pulled the Wheel of Fortune as you said that. That makes me feel like more than one, like not just one event. Maybe not all catastrophic. And I got an ace. And you all who work with me, when I pull aces, that's the spirit guides telling me I'm on track. So yes, I pulled the Wheel of Fortune and then I confirmed it with the ace. I think they're going to be, because we know I'm on the East Coast, South Florida, of all places. So we're really not in the clear until the end of October. And I have been here when we have had major hurricanes mid to late October. So I think what Spirit is saying, not only are you getting, are you pinging Susan around an event, a flooding event, perhaps going east, but I feel like there's more to come. Like before the season is up, there's more to come. And I just got death. Now I'm not trying to, be alarmist with that. I just think that there's something major, transformational. It can bring, we know that death can bring even like housing, trees, the landscape that's transformed, right? It can come in any number of ways. But I also feel like this is a timing element because I just talked about November, and Scorpio goes into effect, end of October into the end of November. So I feel like Spirit is saying change and disruption, 5 of Pentacles. I think we're going to see something.
And it's showing the earth there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we could get some interesting, and not everything has to turn into a hurricane. To your point, Susan, what you were getting from the guides around flooding, it could be tropical storms, extremely heavy rain events. It doesn't have to be catastrophic.
Right.
But it looks like it might start to get a little busy.
Right. I agree. I got the multiple, can't get a break kind of energy. So there is that. You guys, the guides told me, and I find this personally hard to wrap my head around, but I'm just going to share it because I think it's good advice anyway. And they said, if we could change our thinking to from the words, if we have a fire, an earthquake, a flood, a tornado, we change it to when. If you start thinking when, then you're going to prepare. You're gonna go from that gamble. And I lived on the Gulf Coast for many decades, so I get it. Every year it was a gamble. I'm gonna just bet on the odds that I don't have to do it this year. But they said with all the crazy weather, it's better to just say when that ice storm hits, when that thing happens, I am prepared, or I'm in the process, right? Like maybe I'm not prepared, but I think if you just change your thinking to that, you'll start doing little things that will ultimately get you prepared.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Because it could be that you're prepared and it doesn't hit you, but it hits a nearby community. But because you're prepared, you can go help that community, right? So I think that's also that energy. We're all in this together. Yeah. I want to say thanks to the moderators. Thank you guys so much for working on Saturday. And thank you, Sharon Sipe, and all the moderators. I really appreciate you on both of our channels. Thank you so much.
So much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I also, to this point around weather, Susan, I think that people's senses are going to be heightened because this is the 20-year anniversary of Katrina. This month, the 29th, I think it is, of this month. And so surely we will be seeing, we're going to see tributes and people talking about it and how. So I think there's going to be some heightened awareness around that as well. That maybe even to your point a moment ago, will cause people to say, never again. I'm going to take warning seriously, going to be prepared. It's not about living in fear, but it's also understanding that sometimes this can become reality, and with heightened concerns around FEMA and what we just saw happen in Texas. So I think there's more of before there was and certainly in Katrina, if something bad happens, we can depend and rely on the government to come in and take care of us. Not necessarily, right? And so again, that's not to heighten fear or heighten anxiety, but I do think it's going to prompt a lot of people, families, communities to just be ready to take care of one another. Yeah, be ready.
Yeah, definitely. My heart goes out to anybody that went through Katrina. It was we had a lot of Katrina victims, survivors come to my little area. And I was working with the Red Cross at that time. So I got to meet some of them, and there is a documentary that people talk about. I think it's on Netflix. I'm not sure. It's a Katrina documentary. People are shook. Like, people are like, I saw it on my screen, but it's nothing like what really happened there. Was nothing at all like what happened on your screen. And I think that awareness, when you realize that there were black people that got shot by police, then you can understand that what's happening now has been happening in those communities.
That's right.
This has been happening to them.
Yeah.
It's just now that we can see it, right? And so now we're shook, right? But this is like all of us coming together and saying, oh my God, I didn't know you went through this. I'm so sorry. It's healing.
Yeah.
It's actually forcing us to heal, to see each other, and to witness each other.
Yes. Yes, very much so. Very much so. We're realizing that Spike Lee did one called When the Levees Broke. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
There's a new one out that people are saying is absolutely mind-blowing.
I watched the first episode of it, and it just makes you
livid. It's got to make you livid.
It makes you, you realize people were just so helpless, and also the abandonment, the absolute abandonment by government, and so things coming full circle, because there are people who felt that way last year in North Carolina.
Yes.
There are people who certainly feel that way or felt that way in Texas, like in the here and now. Not the same, but yes, I mean, there were a lot of lives lost in that flood in Texas.
There were.
For somebody to, few days later, like, maybe I did respond, maybe I didn't, I thought I did. Like, what are you talking about?
No.
So we are, I think all of this is prompting us to not disregard the role that government should play, but certainly have ourselves more prepared, that we have to be ready to help one another.
Yeah.
We had Mexico coming in. We had Canada coming into Texas.
Yeah.
Is it right? California, one of the first.
And that's the thing you learn. If you live in an area that has natural disasters, you learn that, I've seen various religious organizations go door to door and just rip your carpet out, throw it in the lawn, and go to the next house. Like, we don't care what religion they're from. They don't care what religion we are. Everybody literally is just in, like, rolling their sleeves up and doing the thing. And I think that's the lesson here, right? And that's the lesson they're trying to teach us from this administration, which is you are different and you're not worthy and you are separate. And we're not going to fall for that. Americans are just not going to fall for that. I don't see it, you guys. Just because 10% are monsters, 90% of us are not.
Yes. Yes. And we're seeing more of that. Susan, you were talking a little bit ago about anticipating shifts in the fall. I think we're going to see something really kick off when Zoran Mondani wins the mayor in New York, and he's going to win. That is going to talk about ripple effects.
You're right.
Going into the 2026
You're right.
election year. Ooh, that's going to be exciting. And to the point, people coming together, because remember, first Muslim, remembering as well that a lot came out after the primary, that he did not necessarily perform well with Blacks who were being pulled more by Cuomo. Not anymore. He has gotten on the ground. His campaign team, they've gotten on the ground. He's been in Harlem. He's been all throughout New York. His support is growing. And I think that's going to be a model of some sort. What do you think, Susan, for candidates throughout the country going into the midterms? Like, they're looking.
I think he scares the living daylights out of a lot of Democrats, not Republicans. I think he really scares. Well, I'm sure he scared Cuomo, because I think Cuomo thought he had that sewn up, right? And he was like, wait, what just happened, right? But I think that this Mandami is a cautionary tale for people like Chuck Schumer, maybe people that are a little bit more staid or more conservative, because Mandami's like a little bit like Tim Walz in a sense that I'm here to do a job.
That's right.
I'm here to do a job. I'm going to do this job. I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. I'm working for you. I'm not working for that money. And that's the fresh air we need. And the big difference, I think, is that we're now able to see it. Like in the past, I don't think we really understood how important that was. Or maybe we glorified people that were in with the big CEOs because we glorified the big CEOs and we glorified that money. But now we're like, we hate those CEOs. We don't want anything to do with them. And we're glorifying the underdog, right? So yeah, I think this is a seismic, like you're saying, ripple effect. I think this is going to have such a huge effect on us.
Anytime you get a phone call from Barack Obama, did you hear about that?
No, what happened?
Barack Obama called Mandami and had a conversation with him like, dude, I'm loving it.
Oh, nice.
And there were probably a lot of other things, said. But like Barack Obama doesn't just haul off and sit down and call.
No, he doesn't.
Anybody. No. But yes, he's called and expressed and openly endorsed and expressed his support for his candidacy, for making room for younger and more progressive candidates like him. And he gave him a lot of good little tidbits about how to proceed. So meanwhile, don't get me started. And I hope my New Yorkers out there won't get upset with me. I take a little heat from this, but like, where is Hakeem Jeffries, Mr. Brooklyn, who has yet to endorse, who has yet to say a doggone thing in favor of Zoran? What?
No, I just think the energy has moved past him. I mean, if you compare him to Newsom, and I've had my problems with Newsom, I've got a whole video on how I didn't like Newsom, and I'm standing here saying that I think Newsom is fantastic when his sort of his rhetorical gun is pointed in the right direction. If you line him up and say, this is the target, he is fantastic. When he doesn't have a target, he ends up kind of wandering a little bit. And I don't know if he just doesn't have a good focus, right? But yes, I agree with you. I think Jeffries that's what I'm saying about the Democratic Party. I feel like between now and say even February, we're going to kind of separate into two camps. And I think some people are going to still be in that sort of conservative. We've got to work within the lines. We've got to work with, I'm not going to be in that camp. I'm not saying that you're right or I'm wrong. I'm going to lean towards, even Newsom said, I'm going to do this redistricting, but I'm going to let the people vote.
That's right.
Number one. And number two, it's triggered by Texas. If Texas doesn't redistrict, we don't redistrict. Yeah, if it was me, I'd be like, no, we redistricting anyway. We're doing this thing. Like, if the people say we need to redistrict, I wouldn't base it on a trigger of Texas actions. So these are things we're working out. We've never been here before. Yeah. Meaning also the senators and reps have never been here before. Right. They're all playing by an old playbook. And guess what? We aren't. We're on the front line. We're the ones who are changing our minds, our hearts, and our souls. And these people are not catching up. They're just not aware. Yeah. Or maybe they don't care. And that's also going to be a problem. What do you think about that?
I think you're right. But I think, again, talking about this shifting tide. So just to use Cuomo as an example, Cuomo thought he had it in the bag. He had the black vote. He had the establishment. He had the money. He had the, he had blah, 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 blah. Watch me get, and remember after the primary, the DC contingent tried to come after him and paint him as, it was going to be, just take down the city and nobody was going to be able to do business there. And he's consistently overcome that because of the groundswell of support from coming out of the Cuomo camp. So I think it's going to replicate, to your point. You're going to see, as the Democrats have to continue to have this reckoning, you're going to see more people who are going to start to say, okay, you know what, then you all go right ahead. I've got to go over here where I can see and I can get excited and I can see some change about to happen. this thing about being, always wanting to be nice and always wanting to, that's not it. And you were talking about Gavin Newsom. I didn't know this, you all. I just found out yesterday or day before. All of these brilliant social media posts. It's a 29-year-old Mexican Latina who's heading up the social media team, and she's killing it. She's
killing it. And he gave her carte blanche. He said, "Go, girl, do whatever you're gonna." And she's like, "Oh yeah, she is." Look, and we talk about Jasmine Crockett. She's another one who's like, "I'm not playing nice here. This is serious, right?" So I think it's going to be really interesting how we all, and I think more of us, frankly, are going to go towards the progressives, the Mamdanis, the Jasmine Crockett's, right? I think that there really and truly more of us are going to go that direction, even some Republicans. I just want to say real quickly, Peaceful Warrior, you're so sweet. You're not supposed to give us a birthday gift. You're supposed to take that $5 and buy yourself something. Thank you so much. It's so kind of you to do that. You're so sweet. It's so interesting. I just think all this is going to backfire on them terribly. I think that if you side with the conservative, or you try to tell us we're overreacting, or you try to tell us it's not that bad, or we're handling it, don't worry, we're not going to hear that. Like we're living it. We're living it in our lives, and they are so distant.
Yeah,
they don't live like us.
You were just talking about Jasmine Crockett. Did you hear that she came out and said that DT was Putin's hoe?
She called him
hoe, not whore, not whore.
Oh, H-O.
Her H-O, ho, said.
That woman. Okay, let's talk about her. Let's talk about her for a minute, because let's say they do. Do you see her winning? Because I do. Like if there's a slim possibility that she loses, I would give it 10%. We're pretty far out. Right now, I'd give it 10 to 12%. If she loses, ain't nobody going to stop her anyway, because she's going to be more of a problem for you outside of the office. So I feel like I see a lot of Republicans coming to vote for her because of her realness and her has a grasp of the reality of what's happening. She can speak to it, and she wants to help people.
She really does. And there is no stopping her. So even in terms of the last that I saw, you all can correct me, or Susan, if you know, the last that I saw, there was a lot of concern, of course, because of the redistricting, if that was going to eliminate her seat, essentially, and force her out. But so based on her residence, from the last I read, based on her residence, she has said that if necessary, she would run in another district. Like whatever her district is, she will run in that district. And I think she'll win. There's no stopping her. I just pulled the Hierophant for her.
Yeah, I love what you keep saying. There's no stopping her. That's the point, you guys. If they stop her in one direction, she's going to go in. She's like water. She's going to find her way. So I'm not even worried about her at all, actually. She really is a beacon for us to get strength from, and to see how you can navigate this, right? And hopefully these other Congress people can learn something from her, right? Can also get some strength from her.
Yes. And learn that you can be, and to a different extent, to your point around Gavin Newsom, answering the call, this idea that you can be compassionate, you can be intelligent, you can be, down for all the right causes, and you can still say some things when you need to say some things, and use some colorful language in a way that speaks to people's sentiments. And it's not about not being professional and not being whatever. It's about meeting this moment. And I really think we're going to see more of that. We need to see more of that.
Yeah, I agree with you. They just can't remove. I mean, they can remove her, but they can't stop her. They cannot stop her.
Because the people don't want her to be stopped.
Because the people, and I truly, they're showing me this woman. When my little district was taken over by the red tide, we had judges that literally just changed their D to an R. just simply to win because people were just going in and straight voting R. But
Right.
I had this friend that was the county tax assessor. She was a Black lady, and she would go into this community that literally was the KKK. Y'all, for real, I saw the KKK there, my own eyes, when Obama was running the first time. I was a precinct chair for Obama during his first run. And this woman would go into their community, not even tell us. Like, she would just be at their picnic.
Wow.
I'm like, look, Letitia, what are you doing? I mean, you should bring bodyguards. She sat down with those people. She became friends with them. She understood. She was a tax assessor. She wasn't running for mayor. She wasn't running for state office. But she sat down and broke bread and had commonalities, talked about her daughter, talked about her life, became real and human. And that's what we need more of, right? And that woman she won every race until that time happened when they just voted R across. But that's what they're showing me for Jasmine Crockett. I feel like Jasmine Crockett can walk into these places, the VFW hall, whatever it is. And my dad was a VFW person, so don't be coming at me. I spent my childhood in the VFW. But wherever it is, these places that a lot of times typically are, that kind of persuasion of voter.
Yes.
She's going to go out there and she can talk turkey. She can sit down and really tell them what they want to hear. And what people want right now are solutions. They don't want to be lied to. They want somebody to say, I know your groceries are high. I just went and my bill was up $50. This is what I'm saying. Other politicians don't know. They have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Which would also help explain why Congress is trying, some of these, the GOP is trying to delay coming back because they know what's waiting for them. They ran for their lives. The House, Mike John, they ran for their lives.
And now they don't want to come back.
And now they don't want to come back because they already know. They know what's about to happen. They know what's waiting for them.
Because you said Massey and Ro Khanna are, Massey is a Republican that nobody should have nothing in common with, but Jasmine Crockett says, I trust this guy. We're on the same page when it comes to this big bill. And when it comes to some of these things, we're on the same page, which blows my mind. And that's why Jasmine Crockett is in office and I'm not, because I have a hard time with that. But Jasmine Crockett understands sometimes I have to, dance with the person who brought me, as we say in the South, right? So those two people are gathering some support to do what, do you think? To impeachment articles, to what?
Well, right now, their objective, they're saying, is to absolutely get the release of the Epstein files. And they're joining forces. We're still talking about Massey and Ro Khanna, right? Okay, so right now, from what I understand, they're saying their primary objective, what really has brought them together, is they are going to ensure that come hell or high water, those files are going to be released in their entirety. That's their objective. And that is why they have gone out and together have gotten these people whose identities, many of them, from what I understand, their identities have been protected up until now. And that they are willing to come forward in public because that's the truth that they want to have, So that's a part of what they're doing. But I think that's just the tip of the iceberg. And I think once that happens, because I do sense that there's some bipartisanship that wants to occur, but they've been under such a threat of don't you dare, that it's been difficult to kind of make headway. And to your point, people like Jasmine Crockett and even people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and some others, they are making gains. And I do think that you're going to see some cracks. Massey won't be the first. Kentucky, he's not going to be the first or the last, I should say. There are going to be some more cracks, and they're going to see them be able to join forces. Because also, did you all hear? I don't even know what this is about. That there's a second big beautiful bill. That there's There's supposedly, that's another reason why they're trying to delay coming back, that on the heels of this thing that just barely got passed, there's something else now. There's a part 2 to it. And they don't want that to happen. And I think you're going to see more, to that point, I think you're going to see more bipartisan folk come out and join ranks and say, we just can't, we can't. Because at that point, what you were just talking about a moment ago, Susan, people coming forward and say, hey, how much did your groceries just cost you? Because I just left the store and it cost me another $100. I got 2 bags. More of that's going to start to come out.
And the people know that's not truth, right? They're not being told the truth. They can see jobs are, employment is going up, groceries are going up, and this guy is saying they're not. And that cognitive dissonance is going to start breaking their brains, and then they're going to get real mad. I want to interrupt our show just for a second. I think I just saw Linda G recently, but I didn't know this. But let's pray for Linda G. Just her daughter posted that she's getting a scan tomorrow. Because the lab work is bad. Okay, I didn't know that. I mean, my heart goes out to her. We certainly will keep her in our prayers. Thank you for telling us, strong little mama. Wow, I didn't know that. We'll definitely lift her up. This energy is hard on us, you guys. It's hard on all of us. So yeah, we want to support each other. I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me. Yeah, definitely. I can't do a prayer. I'm in politics energy. It's like, for me to do a prayer right now, I would be like wearing dirty, nasty clothes into my house. Like, I personally just don't feel like I can do a prayer in the middle of politics. I just can't. But I will be praying for her, and I encourage everyone to do so if that's something that you're moved by. Yeah. Oh, scan is next week. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I didn't know that. Yeah. Anything else, you guys? Were you pulling some cards on something?
I was on Linda G as you were saying that. So first of all, I'm getting she would not want that to happen in this context, in this forum. Her what she recognizes and feels, because she is energetically open. And she understands the community. She feels the energy from the community. So what I'm getting, because I'll tell you why I got that 2 of Swords back. She doesn't need that, okay. But she does need. I've got the Hermit and the Lovers. So there's health issues. When we see the Hermit, that can very often indicate some health stuff going on. But she's in good care. There's the Lovers. There's some decisions that she's still going to have to make around her care going forward. There are some unknowns. I got the High Priestess. So yeah, she's got a lot on her plate. However, I've got the 4 of Pentacles. She's getting good care. She will get good care. And the stability, I feel like what she would need from us is to do it anyway, whether we did it in this moment on this video, which, as Susan said, the energy, the vibes are already in another place. But more so, she will receive it because she is in tune. And so just to do it on our own, collectively, as
lift her up and
lift her up. Yeah, because she's got some stuff. She's got some decisions ahead of her to make regarding her care. But I think she's going to get good care.
Good. Yeah. Thank you for that.
For sure.
I don't know what else going on. You guys can read the chat. There was scans or information I don't know. But I will text her myself and send my feelings and my prayers to her. And I think us all lifting her up. She is kind of the mother of this group, right? As she kind of started this in a sense. I know Kristen started it and had Linda on her channel, so they're kind of like the beginners. But certainly I see her in some ways as the queen bee. So let's lift her up, because we really want to lift all of us up for sure.
And that someone in the chat said they love the cards that I'm using today. This ties right in line with what we're talking about, sending energy. I'm reading from the Bright Future Tarot.
Oh, nice. The Bright Future Tarot. Nice.
The Bright Future Tarot. So keeping that in line with lifting her up in light and bright future,
Yes.
Fine.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Well, let's just do a few more questions before we're going to put your comments, outcome of meeting. Denise always has great questions. But before I answer that, let me announce really, really quickly, Afefe and I have a class coming up. And this is trippy. I think Spirit basically chose this for me. Okay. Like y'all can come, but I think me getting ready for this class is like, they're like, Susan needs this. Anyway, it's embodying the Phoenix, rebirth after loss or change. Embodying the Phoenix, guys. The spirit guides, if Afefe and I do a lot of classes together, we have taught thousands of people. You can find this on my website, susanlynnmedium.com. It's only $33. It's at the end of September. Okay. Check it out. Embodying the Phoenix, the rebirth after loss or change. Yeah. I think this is all of us going through rebirth right now. This is a 9-year. This is endings and beginnings. And it's kind of just now heating up energetically, I feel like, as far as those endings and beginnings. As we get closer to the end of the year, it's like Spirit is going out and collecting, little karma tickets or your coat check or whatever. So this class will help you be better prepared to deal with those changes. What do you think, Afefe? You want to add anything?
I just realized, as you said, a 9-year. So the class, if I'm not mistaken, it's on Saturday, September 27th, which is a 9-day. If you add that up to his right, see, once again, Susan and I say this all the time, you all, that we make up. We're like Spirit will say, "Hey, you guys, blah 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 blah," and we go, "Okay." And we don't, it's not like we're plotting and scheming and planning and whatever. Let's make sure we do this on a 9-day. No. But when's the 9? 2-7. Like we just don't. We just go get in the energy. We stand up. So there you have it. When you said 9, I was like, wait a minute, aren't we doing it on the 27th? Okay, let's go. And like you, I think like many of us, I'm always excited when we do our workshops. But this one, like,
a 9-month,
right? And in the 9th month, right? The Phoenix, the idea that we all have this capacity and this necessity right now to shed a lot and to embrace whatever it takes to feel rebirth, to feel like fall down 7 times, stand up 8, like whatever it is that, and whether it's our personal lives, whether it's being tuned into what's happening in the world around us, whether it's Ukraine, whether it's Gaza, whether it's job loss, whatever's going on, like there's so many things. This is such a powerful time for us to gather collectively and to talk about this kind of energy, what it is, what the true symbolism of the Phoenix is. It's not just a mythological creature. It is a powerful symbol that I think each and every one of us can resonate with and learn from and adapt so that we can get our act together, because we got a lot to do. We have a lot to do collectively, individually. We have a lot to do. And I think we have the support to do it. We just got to tap in.
Yes. And that's what we hope. We hope to be your support. And thank you, Kevin Lewis, Medium. Thank you for dropping in today. Lulu, Linda G's dog, Lulu, I watched her last video. She's fine. Lulu is fine. I don't think this is about Lulu, but we'll see, right? Tune into her channel. I'm sure she'll be letting us know, right? Let's talk about what Denise G wants to know, what is the outcome between 45 and Zelensky on Monday?
We need to pray for Zelensky too.
Why do you say that?
Because he has no DT, whether it was Putin's double or more likely the conversations that Lutnick had last week when he was in Russia. They're making the deal to try and force this land release by Zelensky. Like they're really forcing his hand. And the question, I think, what I've been getting, I'd love to hear from you all and from Susan, what I've been getting is there is some land that's going to get lost. Now, will it be these entire swaths of land that Putin has said he wants back? I don't think so. I think that's where Zelensky has said over my what body. But he's being brought to Denise's point. I think he's being brought to DC for DT and company, Lutnick et al., to basically tell him, look, the only way out of this is you're going to have to surrender XYZ. And I think the bargaining chip that they may use, which Zelensky has said all along, is if there's land that is lost, we need some assurances security-wise that we won't be sitting ducks for them to just try and take more. Is the U.S. then going to be ready to step in and say, we will furnish that? I think it's going to
trust that.
Exactly. I was just saying, you be on it. Because I was just saying, I think it's smoke and mirrors. I don't think Zelensky's going to be able to trust a word that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah. Nobody does. We shouldn't do it. One thing that Trump does is he tries to be the deal breaker, right? He says, what if we gave you $20 billion? Would that, like, I can see him trying to broker some kind of deal. And the thing that keeps coming to me is the Ukrainian kids that have been abducted. He could broker some kind of deal like that. Before you read your cards, I've predicted for like a year or more that Crimea is going to be the bargaining chip. And also, one of the things I thought that could work potentially, now I'm not saying I agree with this, I'm just saying this is what I'm getting, is that and you have to think about what Afefe said security-wise, but what if Ukraine rented Crimea to Russia for 100 years? What if it was a transaction? What if Russia had to pay? And then on top of that, Russia had to pay restitution or do these things? Then I could see a business transaction happening, but I don't see Zelensky just saying, after everything they've lost, literally saying, sure, you got us now, because I kind of feel like Zelensky's got them on the run. I think I think Europe has come together, NATO has come together. I think everybody's poised, and I don't really think they have the bargaining that they think they do. What do you think, Afefe?
I think financially, that's on point. I just think that manpower wise, because Europe, as we know, and NATO, as we know, so supposedly they made the agreement with the U.S. to buy these weapons and furnish the weapons, but it's still a question of manpower and increasing and maintaining their manpower to continue to fight back. As we know, on the flip side, you got the Koreans, the North Koreans, they're helping them.
They're sending troops. They're sending people, which is
people. So I think that could be maybe the next frontier for Zelensky in order to maintain, his momentum. Is he's not just the financial support and the weapons, but he's also going to need the people. His people have been so decimated. And to your point as well, I wanted to mention this in case some of you hadn't heard. Talk about, the height of hypocrisy here. You were talking about the children, that Ukrainian children who have been taken, and that is going to have to be a part of the discussion. Did you all hear that supposedly, allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, Melania sent a letter by way of DT for this summit yesterday to hand over to Putin or Putin's double on behalf of the Ukrainian children?
Is that what that was about? It was on behalf of the kids?
I'm ready to switch from water to wine.
Oh, I just heard there was a letter. I didn't know that it was on. Yeah, this is too much for me. I mean, it's too much. It's just too much.
Supposedly she went on to this, something has to be done here because this with the Ukrainian children just cannot.
Oh, no. Yeah, no. Okay. No, I can't. I would not be. I'm telling y'all, I'd be in prison. Like, I would just be in prison. For real, straight up.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So let me ask you this question, because I think this is an angle we have left out.
Okay.
How does Europe feel, or NATO feel, about Zelensky making a deal with Russia? Because you talked about, here Ukraine needs security, assurances. Well, I think Poland does too. I think Finland does too. I think a lot of these other countries do as well. If Zelensky folds, that doesn't fare well for them.
No, no. And so I think that that is also why, if I got my information right, and you all let me know, I've read that even though it is Zelensky himself who's coming here on Monday, that this whole thing of now organizing part two of a ceasefire or settlement peace deal, that it must include the European Union, that it would not just be Zelensky, DT perhaps, and Putin, but that they're saying they want the European Union at the table.
Okay. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. I don't see it going anywhere. Frankly, I don't. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see. I mean, I don't see it going anywhere for 45.
No, no.
And Denise is saying, follow-up question, does Russia have any idea where the children are? I think they do, because remember, this is a communist country, and everybody gets to sign up for their food and gets to sign up for their housing. So it would be very evident that you have an extra mouth to feed, or you have an extra farm hand, or whatever that is. So I do think they know. I think I think that some of the kids might have been diverted to another purpose that is not in
Good.
Russia. And those kids, I don't think they know where they are.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm also getting that preparations to do that were made well in advance of the start of the war. Like that was part of, here's the campaign that we're going to wage, and what would be taking these children was going to be a part of that campaign. Like they knew. So to the point of, do they know where they are? At least some of them, because space, provisions, places, except, like, I'm getting that was in place when they went in there, when they attacked Ukraine. There was already a plan.
Right. Have you read on the out? I mean, timing is absolutely impossible. But have you read on the outcome of the Ukraine war, or the energy around the Ukraine war in the fall?
I haven't read on it in timing in the fall. Every time I've read on it, I've just seen some sort of relinquishment of land. That there will be some sort of land that they're going to take back. I just don't see it as what they're trying to get.
Right.
But I do see, but I don't know about timing.
Right. So the other thing that we talked about earlier was Putin's demise.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think if it hasn't, he is, because the guides gave me that in a very specific way. That's going to affect Ukraine. And so let's say that you have a new leader that would come out, and that person might be someone like, we talk about Vance touring around Europe, right? Trying to get on the good side of the Europeans. If Russia has a new leader, that the Europeans, NATO might decide that, hey, okay, this person is operating in good faith because we don't know otherwise, right? And they might make a deal. I just keep seeing you, Crimea. I know they want the Donetsk. I read about this a long time ago. It's all that area along the border there. But for some reason, they want Crimea. It's another port. It's a special place, an important port. But it's also an important port for Ukraine. Ukraine is the breadbasket of Europe. Did you guys know that? Like, they supply so much of Europe with wheat and grains.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There could be some kind of sharing, maybe some. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to end up. I just know, the one thing I know is I see Ukraine being rebuilt. I see it being a high-tech city. I see it being skyscrapers, just super high tech, and being kind of almost a financial country, like almost like, the financial hub of Europe. So we talked about the Phoenix earlier. I've always said that about Ukraine. They are the Phoenix that are going to rise out of the ashes. I've said it from the very beginning. The guides have been right about everything that's happened in Ukraine except for the timing. So I think they're going to come out of it.
But Susan, to your point, you just said a moment ago, and that ties in. You said that perhaps a part of this negotiation from Trump's end could be financial incentives. So if in fact there were, we will help you rebuild, we will bring in and make this investment, or even from the EU as well, in addition to the United States. So because if we did, but we will do it as an investment. We know that he'd never do it to just here. We want to see you do better. It would have to be that, okay, we'll provide security, perhaps. We'll provide the security and we will make the investment, but then we will have a continued presence there,
like the UN or something.
Like the UN or something like that. So I think that ties in really well with what you were getting, the guidance that you got before around that financial incentive being a part of what has to happen to ultimately broker a deal.
I just don't know that Russia has any money. The thing that I saw a long time ago was the thing that's going to implode Russia is the people, much like us, right? Yeah. The people are going to say, we can't get any food, we can't afford anything. They're going to revolt. The people are going to revolt. And the insiders, it's hard to get information on Russia and China, but the insiders are saying this is starting to happen. So perhaps there's money that Putin has that this new leader will get that the country doesn't have,
Yeah, I don't think the money's coming from Russia. I'm saying I think DT is going to go and make.
Oh, God have mercy. Pitch. I think you're right.
Right? That's going to be part of his pitch. You do this, maybe of that whole swath of land, just give them that one little piece over there to make
That's what they want.
Let's just give them that one little piece. You'll still have all of that. We will come in and help protect you to have.
Are you saying we like America?
We like America.
Like Trump is going to go over there and write a blank check.
But it's our investment. Please understand that it's our investment. So
we own in that, like he does.
Art of the deal.
We're your landlord.
We're your landlord. We're your co-ally, whatever. But ultimately, we're your landlord. We're your, this is our investment that we're making in, and we're willing to do that so you can have your skyscrapers and you can have most of that swath of land.
This is wrong. I mean, it's so wrong. Wow. And that makes sense because that's what he's doing with this. There's a company that he's saying, you're going to tithe to the American government. You're going to give us like 20%, like one of the chip makers. You're going to give us 20%.
NVIDIA. That's what he did with NVIDIA.
You're going to give because he thinks that the American government bank account is his. So I can see him going to Ukraine and going, have I got a deal for you? Here's what's going to happen. You're going to sign this, and you're going to sign this. We're going to make all the money from all the sky. We're going to rebuild it. Oh God.
But you get to keep your country. You get to keep your country.
It almost makes kind of sense in a very weird Machiavellian way.
Yeah. Somebody said loan sharks. Exactly.
Yeah, like loan sharks. Yeah, that's what they are. They're mobsters, right? Exactly. Holy cow, y'all. So so then you go back to Congress. The guides just showed me Massey. Again, I'm not a fan, but he's almost on the libertarian side. And he's going to be like, not only no, but right. He's not going to allow this to happen. I think some of these, this is where I think the Congress just starts breaking apart. Like people just, Trump cannot hold them together. MTG is gone off the ranch. I think honestly, she's looking for other power places that she can plug into. I think he's lost it. He's lost control of Congress. I really do. I think Mike Johnson's lost control of Congress. That's what you were getting at when you were saying they're not coming back because they can't come back because they're going to be forced to do something that they don't want to do. So I think this is the beginning of the end. And I mean, truly, because he doesn't have Congress. He doesn't have the power other than the media worshiping him, all these sycophants.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And also to your point, Susan, like, okay, so think about, play that out a little bit. So if that sort of deal is what he tried to strike in Ukraine, right? Make this investment, not only would that perhaps get Congress to go, whoa, 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 but what about the base? Because the whole point
You're
was
right.
America first.
You're
And
right.
so are you really telling us that we're supposed to get excited about $50 billion to build some skyscrapers in Ukraine? Is that what's happening? Meanwhile, November 2026 is ticking, right? You know, it's really going to be interesting. It's going to be so interesting, you all.
So that is the implosion, because not only do I see the MAGAs, and I've told you guys, like I see them in the streets and I see me in the street and we're bumping shoulders and I'm like, oh my God, I'm out here with a bunch of MAGAs, but also people that are getting their SNAP benefits taken away, teachers, doctors. I think doctors are getting ready to strike. I talked a little bit on my last video and a lot of doctors came in the comments and they said, I can't do this. Like I barely survived the pandemic. We have a oath, a Hippocratic oath, right? And I don't feel like I'm helping people and I don't know what to do. And I think we're all going to be in the streets for all different reasons, our own reasons, but we're going to have one common enemy and it's going to be the Republican Party. It's not even just going to be 45. It's going to be the Republican Party and then further the CEOs. You're going to have all this kind of Luigi energy.
Yes, 100%. And the causes are endless. And in a way, that's the beauty of it, is what I'm getting, because maybe a certain swath of us, you know, collectively really are about voting rights, and maybe another, you know, about immigration or about SNAP benefits and healthcare and all. There are so many things and so many areas that collectively, that groundswell of reaction and support and getting involved, absolutely off the charts. I think it's going to be historic in ways that we've never seen before. And I think the way that is done is going to be you know, it's not all going to be grassroots on the street protests. It's going to be some data centric, some other avenues, some media. In fact, we're going to see more media crop up, but media of a different sort. It's just going to be fascinating the way that it happens. And there will be an avenue for everyone. Maybe elderly people who don't feel safe or comfortable or can't get out on protesting. That's okay. There'll be other ways for them to do it. So it can be limitless.
I love the way you described that. And I think that I feel like that's coming sooner rather than later. Yeah. That energy feels almost ready to go. And it just depends. It's like Afefe said, if he comes back on Monday and says, oh, we're going to write a check and we're going to fund Ukraine, that will be it. That'll be it. Not that we don't love Ukraine, not that we wouldn't want to fund Ukraine, but that's not the point. The point is Russia should fund Ukraine. Yeah. We shouldn't fund them. They should fund them, right? So I think it just depends on, there's some tripwires here, right? And which tripwire is tripped and when it is tripped. And you know, the way you read about the weather and you said, it just seems like one thing after another. That's kind of how I feel about this. It's going to be one thing after another after another.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
That's going to push us to stand out, stand up, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Have a great birthday, Peaceful Warrior, and everybody else take really good care. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really appreciate being on here with Afefe. Trump wires, exactly. Don't forget, we have a class coming up. You can learn about it on my website, susanlynnmedium.com. But check out Afefe's channel if you're not familiar with her. It's Touched by Tarot. here on YouTube, and she has a great membership as well, which I'm a member of. I love her membership actually, and I know a little bit about memberships because I have memberships. I have an online community as well, where we have democracy dialogue. People can come and talk about politics in a safe place off of Meta, completely separate. So yeah, there's a lot of things that for every price point. This is free, right? Afefe's membership is very reasonable. I think it's $2.99, right? Minus $12. I mean, there's different price points. You can plug and play and support each other. I really appreciate you guys showing up today. Hope you're having a good Saturday and a good weekend.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been amazing. And thank you again for being, these are just some of the most beautiful, compassionate, smart, just engaged, like couldn't ask for more. Like, this isn't work, to show up and do this with you all. This isn't work. This is a joy. This is a privilege. This is good. I come away with my soul fed. I think I can speak for Susan with that.
Me too.
Well.
No, me too. Because it's community. We're all in a community. We're all sharing. I can feel the love from you guys. I can feel the grace, right? I hope you can feel it from us as well.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. And have a good rest of your weekend. Please check out that class. That's one, like, we always bring our, we always do our thing together. People call us the dynamic duo, but we're amped up for this one. As they say, this is personal.
It's important. It's the rebirth of our identity. We're not going to be, you guys, our country's not going to be the same, right? It's not. The media is not going to be the same. I don't think what the guides were telling me earlier is as we go into 2026, it's almost like we're breathing different air. Yeah. It's like you can't go into 2026 as the same person. It's not going to happen. So, and sometimes, like I'm not great with change. Sometimes that's hard for me. So reason this class is so important at $33 is because we're going to help you. We're going to really help you get some skills and some knowledge about what's going on with you, open up some avenues within yourself so you can kind of see how this is showing up in your life, right? And deal with it better. Because I don't know about you, but I want to go into 2026 like I own it.
Yeah.
I want to walk into 2026 like I'm ready. Yeah. I've been through hell in 2025. I've learned things, I've accepted things, and I'm ready. I don't want to go into 2026 being drugged by 2026. That's my game plan anyway. What do you think of that?
Ditto, and ditto. Yeah. Now I tend to be a little more. I love change. I'm adaptable. My name, Afefe, means the wind, right? I love change, but sometimes I'm a person who, and Susan knows this, but I'm a person who, like, I'll jump off the cliff and then think, wait, did I check my bungee cord? Like, did I wait a minute, so I am learning.
But you always land on your feet, always
land on my feet and trust that. But I'm also learning to be more intentional and more aware of the steps that I make. And this is just energy. One of the things that I think makes us good teachers, or anyone that I've even learned from, is you can't teach what you don't know.
Yeah.
Really.
You haven't experienced.
You haven't experienced it. And people understand authenticity. And I think that's probably one of the things that we always hear most from feedback from people who take our classes, is there's just this sense of authenticity. And it's because we're living it. But living it as people who are also healers and working in the space of, on the one hand, living the life, and on the other hand, working a spirit, in spirit. It's a dynamic, and it's a privilege, and it's something that makes us want to give it back to you, and want to bring that experience to help you, just as we are learning on our path. So it's worth it. It's well worth it. We hope you can make it.
Yeah, it's our soul path. It's all of our soul path to be on this video today. So in whatever way you felt community, or you felt that you had friends, or that you had a just even someone that like, oh my God, I feel the same way. Sometimes you just need that. So we appreciate you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate you tremendously. Take really good care of yourselves, you guys. We're getting ready to go through sort of the rapids, you know, like the whitewater rapids. So this is a time where you want to just take some deep breaths and just know you're going to just float through it, right? So just take really, really good care. And thank you so much, Afefe. Take really, really good care of yourself as well.
You too. You too. Always. Always. Got to. All right,
All
everybody.
right, everybody.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you soon. Take good care. Bye, everybody. Take good care.